Good day, guys. How are you doing today? Yeah, welcome back to the series. Now let's look at some questions, some basic questions in the previous topic we just did, concluded. You can see an example of a question here saying, write a C function that reverses a string using pointer manipulation without using any library functions. We're not asked to use any library function here to optimize the performance in a data processing application. That first question. You also need to sum the element of an integer array using pointer arithmetic instead of array indexing. Write a program that initializes an array of integers and uses a pointer to traverse the array and calculate the sum of its elements. Can you see? This is the question we're looking at. So I have the solution prepared. Let's walk through it together. So, okay. Here's the solution. Okay. Here's the solution. We are asked not to use any, let me clear this, no library at all. So we just want to solve it. Firstly, reverse a string. Secondly, we should sum an array of numbers. Now let's look at it together. Now the question asks us to create a functions. We should create a function. Here's the question again. Write a C function that reverses a string, uses pointer manipulation without using any library functions. What do we mean by functions? What do we mean by, excuse me, looking for the VS Code, but we create a function, custom function, reverse string here, and this is the what? An array. It's taking in what? String character, right? We firstly check here, is this string equal to null? If it's null, then we return, we halt the program error. But if not, then we firstly start, we pick the string, we assign to the start, and to the what? The same to the end. We have 2 copies of it down stored in different array. So we get address of the string. We get address of, we get this string. We store it in this pointer. We get the string, sorry, not the address. We store it in this in a pointer. The same value that's stored. Then we want to check here. Go at the end of each character string, there is a null terminator, which is /0. This null terminator is appended to each C string. So we are now checking if the end, if we have not got to the end of this. For instance, let me just create this. For instance, let me have a comment here. If we have hello world like this, hello world. At the end, you will have something like this by default in it. So we want to check, have we got it to the end of the string? If not, then the increment. Remember, you can also use increment with car in C as well. Whether we decrement just like your integer numbers. Understand? So it increments in form of what? The ASCII code. American Standard Code interchange, information interchange. ASCII code. Like if A equals to what? A by maybe 65 in ASCII, if A is equal to 65. If you see A plus will be what? 66. So we get the value. So we have, that is, for this is the logic. When the thing happens, we increment, then later also we decrement it. Understand? Now we now look, we assign the value. When we start, it's less than the end. Let's check. We create a temporary variable. We're going to stop it temporarily. Then before we swap it, if the start is equal to end, and you see we put the end is equal to what? The start, and the temporary value which contains the start now turn to what? To the end of it. We increment the starting points. We start over from beginning. We start from the base point. We start reassigning it. Then we decrement the former one. Can you see? That is the functions. Now, if we let me comment this one out. Let me comment Let's run it now, and let's comment it. It will comment it out this way. Then let me run it. Am I G plus hyphen O, and let me just name as app, and just Q1.c. Good. Then you can see we have a string reversed. We have a string reversed now. Then can you see we have simple string. You can change it to something else, but if you change it, you have to recompile it back again. And you can see, you can go through the code, you write it. If any question, you can let me know in the comments. Then you can see we supply simple string here. Second sample string. Now, if I run it without compiling it, I still get the previous error, but let me compile it back. Then I see this is the original string. Then second, and see we're able to do that, accomplish that without reversing, without the use of any library functions. Now let's come to the second part of it, which says that we should sum the total number of numbers in an array. It can be any numbers, you can put any number. We should sum this an array of elements. This is how we create arrays. So we have some set of number here. So then we want to get by default, we know that the total number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We know that is 7. What if we have thousands of elements in the array and we don't know? So we can easily get the array length by dividing using the size of the number. We put it here, divided by any element. I just pick the first one with index 0, index 0, index 1. So you can pick any index, you still get the total length of the array. So it automatically will give me total number of 7. Then we are summing it. Remember in our function here, we have the sum here. It's taking the a pointer array of numbers, integer, and what is summing it here. Can you see? What in size? The size here means what? The total length of the array. So what to know the total length of the array. Then we create a variable called sum. Then we now say what's assign the value. This array, pointer array, is a pointer array. We saw it in this. But by default, you may be thinking something that I'm storing this. This is a pointer. This is a pointer already stored inside this. So we have also array stored inside this pointer. Then we iterate over it. We iterate over to the size. Instead of using size software, we want to get the size. Then we get the size less than this. Then this is a logic here. This pointer here, this is a pointer. It firstly points to the first element in the array. This one is pointing to the first element in the array, which is 2. To move to the next something, or it does not work like the normal arithmetic. To move to the next array, we add it what? I. The first instance will be 0, so it doesn't change. But the next one will be 1, which will move to the next index. It will move to the next index. So we have the next time operation again, we move to the third index. Next time operation again, we move to the fourth index. That's how we operate in a pointer arithmetic. We sum them together using sum operator here. We sum them together, and then we call the function. We invoke the question of call it. We supply the array length, which is this array, and then we do this, which is the array size. We pass the array inside it. Then we calculate our sum. This is the sum. I can comment this one out as well. I can comment it and rerun the code. Then we have 34. So I can also come and I can run both of them together. So I see. So they all work together. They all work. Now you can go through it again and see. Look at the code. You see, look at the code. Look at the code. So you think, why are we using this? Okay, let me comment this. Do you have any error? Let me see, compile again. Can you see? We're not using any of the library except from the word the standard IO library, which contains the print functions, the IO functions, the input and output functions. So then we run it back again. Can you see? We get our result. So then let's move to question 2 because of time. Question 2. Where is the slide? We have moved to question 2 here. It said a command line to retrieve a list of file names as arguments when it is executed. File names need to be processed in alphabetical order. Write a C program that takes a command line argument which are passed as an array of strings into the char v in the disk and sort them alphabetically before printing them to the console. We also want to use library here. We also want to sort them without alphabetical order, with alphabetical order, without using of any library. Now let's come again to the question. This is the second solution to the questions. We are swapping here. You will be confused here. This is pointer to pointer array, or it's pointer to pointer variable, pointer to pointer. Use double asterisk pointer to pointer, because even before a string on its own is a character or its pointer already. So, but we now pick the string assigned to a pointer. It's a pointer already. So we assign it to the temporary value, just as this one we did the other time. The second one, the same thing, the temporary now, take the second string. This function is just what? It's swapping the two strings. We're able to get the address and swap them. Then we even use void. We swap the variables of the two. So we come to our main function now. To our main function. Remember in some of our first initial video, either in C or C++, I think our first or second video, when we talk about main functions, we talk about passing argument to functions. We demonstrate this even in class as well. We demonstrate this one in class, even part of the video, and then we can pass. We say that by default, what we do before, like this one, we do not pass anything in our main functions, which is void by default. Which is void by default, doesn't take anything in. But here, we are passing something here. As we explained there in the video, the first element is the total count of this array, or the total element in this array. So is the total count, this argument count, argument count. This one is argument value, argument value. So you can see that it's taking an array, pointer or array, right? Then we now look at it, because and the argument count is this value is array of element. For example, it contains maybe array of maybe file name. For example, it will take our app. It will also take, maybe we're passing something, list.txt, com.tg, maybe cpp, something like this. As soon as it is etc. So it can take the first element by default is our file name. The file name is our compiled file name that's compiled. That will be the first argument, and it is index 0. Any other one we pass through the command line, we start from this index 1 to the end. So that's how it looks like. So let me clear this. Now we create a for loop for the argument count. And we start from index 1. Start from index 1. We loop all over to the end of it, skipping the default one. As we start, maybe we have 5 elements. We start, okay, instead of starting, we now have 4 elements instead of 5, because it will be 6 elements. If you supply 5 elements, it will later be 6, because the additional file name will be included. Now we loop, we start from 1. So we're able to get our 5 elements. Then we now loop through, we create another variable again. So we create a variable again. Then we get to the what? The I, which is the index of this, plus 1. So plus 1, so then J, less than the argument this, J plus plus, increment. Then we now compare. So this string compare is a function that comes from this string library. It's coming from this string library. So enable us to compare two strings together. So we compare this. We compare this agree. Agree is an index array. It contains the array of file names. We are not talking about this now. The first index, the file name, the other file something. It's the array index. Then we get the what? We get the address of it. Then we compare it with what is this. Can you see a person in front of it? Yeah, we get the address of it. We get what is there. We compare the two strings together. Then we see, okay, after comparing the two together, if it returns once, that means we swap available. So the string is our result is working, the code is working. But if it's not zero, that means it's not alphabetically, it's not in the order. So, but if it's greater than one, if you look at it, if I place my cursor here now, can you see it compare two string int? That's why I'm able to compare it with 0. As long as it's not int, I won't be able to compare it what with 0. Can you see? I place my cursor on it again. I'm able to see int taking into argument of the first string and the second string. I'm able to compare it. So if the other one is greater, then I move it. If it is 1, then I'm able to apply this function there. This is the function will work on it. Else, it will continue to not do anything. So I cannot move here, find them sorted alphabetically. We cannot have what? Just forget about print. I just want to put them inside the markations. So we now have, for inside this now, if we still get our total count of elements through the help of argc, then we now use %c to old string to display string, argv. So we now sort them back through the help of pointer. We're able to get the address. We have sorted them. We have changed them. We've changed them through the help of the what? We're able to get the address and change their locations through the help of the swap string. Then we print them out this way. If I compare this one and now run a G++ -O, then just name it as app alone. You can name it as anything, it can be anything. Then Q2.c. Then you can have, I can now run my app now. Can you see? So, Q2.c. I'm compiling this. Okay, I compile this now. Q2, is this Q2? This Q2. Then if I want to run it, take the file name of the app.c. I can now pass in my file value, which is for example, sum.txt. It's a file space, maybe sum.txt, somi.txt. Then that file maybe is called file.txt. Now we got sample.php, and another one is maybe mine.rs. So okay. Sorry. Oh, I'm having two app here. Let me delete the two of them. So I'm getting to go. It's giving me hyphen. Oh, sorry. There's an error in the code I inputted there. So I can delete this one, but no. Good. Now let me just run this one back again. Can you see? File name is sorted them alphabetically. Sample, can you see? Alphabetically. So that is how it is done. And the other time I was talking about some kind of constant enum, maybe enum. So I just want to firstly do it. Include stdio this. It's maybe enum, maybe days. days can be these. So it's taking in maybe Sunday, maybe, for example, Sunday, Monday, it can be so we have Sunday. I want to look at the student. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. For example, I have this constant here. We can easily print them out in May. Sorry for that. Int main, I can easily print them out. So we have int main. Let me print to know the value of this. These numbers here carry values by default. So this one is carry the value of 0. Can you see? It's assigned 0 there. 1. Can you see? 2. It's taken to 3. Can you see? Till you get to Saturday here, which is 6. So we can easily check. You can also cross-check it. But in case you see in your code, cross-check it. Maybe you could just call Monday. Call Monday now. You'll be able to just compile this. And let me just compile it here. I'm getting one here. Monday is what is 1. You can also check here. You can also use some switch statements to assign some days and other things for another comparison. You can use maybe if Sunday, can you see, is equal to what? If Sunday is greater than this, you can use for constant declaration. You can also want to create under some point in case you want to create some constant variables, maybe custom, for example. Custom, you want to give them a value yourself, maybe response in our HTTP response, maybe for not found, maybe sources, equal to what? 200. Understand? Forbidding, maybe equal to what? 403. Understand? 502. Bad request equal to what? 502. You can just assign this way and you'll be able to what? That's how also constant arrays of constants or enum, you can also use it in most majority of your code. I think you will go through it, please. I just want to make this video shorter as compared to the other one. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.